Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to this week's history. Today we will be starting our new unit on early modern China, and today's lesson is about the Ming Dynasty. Okay, so in the 1350s, the rebel leader Hongwu fought against the Mongol Yuan dynasty. He and his peasant army were eventually successful, overthrowing the Yuan dynasty in 1368. He then founded the Ming Dynasty. His military, administrative, and educational reforms centered power in the emperor. He made the dynasty one of the most stable in China. However, as usual, he ruled with complete authority. The Ming relied on the educated class to manage state affairs. Therefore, he improved the civil service system. Almost all the top officials had to pass a government examination to enter the office. At the same time, he used various methods to limit their power and position. He introduced a system of flogging as a punishment at court. He often had scholars and officials beaten to death for the slightest offense. He also abolished the position of prime minister. Instead, he took over personal control of the government. He ruled with the assistance of loyal officials organized as the Grand Secretariat. So in terms of relations with other countries, the Ming dynasty struggled with neighboring peoples. Clashes with Mongols were ongoing during the first decades of the dynasty. The Ming drove the Mongols north to present-day Mongolia. Although the Ming could not claim a decisive victory, they were generally able to maintain their northern border. On the northeast, the Zhongchen from Manchuria forced the Ming army to withdraw southward. The Ming devoted considerable resources towards maintaining and strengthening the Great Wall, which was used to deter invasion. In early Ming times, China successfully invaded northern Vietnam to the south of its border. However, local guerrilla resistance prompted the Ming government to return the territory. The Ming never again attempted to push southward. During the 15th century, the government selected Zheng He to lead naval expeditions to extend China's influence. Also during the Ming, Japan became more aggressive. Japanese raiders joined Chinese pirates in raids along China's coasts. The raids were relatively small but were still disruptive to the Chinese cities, and the Ming government began a campaign to end Japan's attempt to control Korea, which proved to be a long and costly war and depleted the Chinese treasury. Okay, so fall of the dynasty. Several other actions helped to weaken the Ming government, such as conflict between officials. In addition, the dynasty had a succession of weak emperors who failed to stop the spread of corruption. And in 1644, a rebel leader captured Beijing. The local Ming military commander requested aid from the Manchu peoples to the north, who drove off the rebels but remained and established their own Qing dynasty. So the Ming dynasty was the only native dynasty in between the Mongol Yuan dynasty and the Manchu Qing dynasty.
Oh, I can do the next line. Ming culture, art, and pottery. The people of the Ming dynasty made many foreign contacts. However, their culture developments were generally traditional and conservative. The best Ming sculptures are small ornaments carvings of jade, ivory, wood, and porcelain. Ming decorative arts included enameling, fusing glass powders at high heats to create a metal substrate, creating color and pattern, bronze, lacquer work, decorating the containers with a layer of hard and shiny coating, and furniture. Painters for the imperial court produced portraits following traditional patterns. Independent painters generally became less academic and more creative. In pottery, porcelain replaced stoneware. Artists began to produce rich, multicolored pieces. The best known of these features blue and white. The designs gradually changed from floral and abstract to painted scenes. From that eventually emerged the willow pattern wares. They became export goods in the great demand in Europe. By late Ming times, 3 and even 5 colors were popular. In the 17th century, merchants exported stoneware from the Yixing Plains in Jiangsu province. The wares are unglazed, and the body varies from red to dark brown. Important European factories imitated the style.
Ming culture, literature and drama. In literature, the Ming saw a return to classical prose and poetry styles. As a result, many artists imitated former works rather than producing new writings. The educated class founded many great private libraries. They also produced huge anthologies, which are collections of poems and writings, of rare and interesting books. This action helped preserve many works from extinction. In the late Ming period, writers began to produce informal popular fiction. The educated elite despised these works. However, this fiction became representative of the period. Several novels became universally acclaimed masterpieces and helped establish such genres as historical, picaresque, and romance. Chinese traditional drama had originated in the Song dynasty. When the Mongols defeated the Song in 1279, they banned the art form. However, it survived in secret in southern China. In the Ming era, this traditional drama was restored. The style was Chuanqi, a form of musical theater with numerous scenes and contemporary plots. From the from that emerged the Kunshi style. It was less showy than other popular theater. Under the Ming, it enjoyed great popularity and was adapted into a full-length opera form that is still performed today.
Okay, now we will do a primary source. So this primary source is from Ma Huan, who was born in the coastal region of southern China. Little is known about his life except that he accompanied Zheng He, the Ming admiral, on 3 of the 7 expeditions to the Indian Ocean. In 1451, he published an account of his experiences, with entries offering vivid descriptions of the places their fleet visited. Following is an excerpt from the person's book, which he published in 1451, about the mission to uh, Cochin. Cochin, I think that's somewhere in India. In the 5th year of the Yuan Lo period, the court ordered the principal envoy to the Grand Eunuch Zheng He and others to deliver an imperial mandate to the king of this country, which is referring to Cochin, and to bestow on him a patent conferring a title of honor and the grant of a silver seal, and to promote all the chiefs and award them hats and grindles of various grades. Here is another excerpt. It's about on trade goods and conduct of trade. So, as he stated, the king has 2 great chiefs who administer the affairs of the countries. Both are Muslims. If a treasure ship goes there, it is left entirely to the 2 men to superintend the buying and selling. The king sends a chief with some other officials and brokers, and the date is set for fixing prices. When the day arrives, they first of all take the silk embroideries and open work silks and other such goods which have been brought here, and discuss the price of them one by one. And when the price has been fixed, they write out an agreement stating the amount of price. This agreement is retained by these persons and on oath to respect the price that is made by all parties. After that, the Chaiti, an ethnic group in Calicut, and the men of wealth then come bringing precious stones, pearls, corals, and other things, so that they may be examined and the price discussed. This cannot be settled in one day. If done quickly, it takes 1 moon. If done slowly, it takes 2 or 3 moons.
This is another excerpt from Ma Huan, which is on relations between different religious groups in Calicut. quote, "The king of the country, a Hindu, and the people of the country, also Hindus, all refrain from eating the flesh of the ox. The great chiefs are Muslim people, and they all refrain from eating the flesh of the pig. Formerly, there was a king who made a sworn compact with the Muslim people, saying, 'You do not eat the fox, I do not eat the pig. We will reciprocally respect the taboo.' And this compact has been honored right down to this present day."
Okay, and that's it for the primary source. Again, this was written by Ma Huan on his during when he was visiting these places with Zheng He in the 1400s, and published. It was also published in that period of time. So it's pretty interesting to see what they saw along the way. And that's it for today. Thank you for listening.